Forgot that. All right. Mission statement. Our mission here is to create the greatest group of professional traders compiled in the world. We work tirelessly every day to improve our individual selves and push each other to get the most out of one another. With each individual's personal accountability, 100% effort, and consistent action towards focusing on our controllables, we will each reach our full potential individually and as a family. Pledge, I, Stefanos, pledge to be the best version of myself today, to do whatever it takes to be the greatest trader that I can be, and to be the most self-disciplined person that I know. I will do the things I have to do today, regardless of how I feel, one day at a time, 1 hour at a time, 1 minute at a time. Every minute counts. I will control what I can control and not worry about anything else. Reminders, we do not overtrade. We do not over-risk, as you guys know. You don't need to catch a trade today. It's Monday. We got some moving markets, which is nice. And if it gives us a setup, that'd be awesome. But if it doesn't, we don't need to catch that trade. 1 to 2 trade ideas per day. 3 if you see a perfect setup. Focus on capital preservation over capital appreciation. Risk management is your first priority and number 1 priority. Keep your trading plan in front of you. Read it before your session. Stack smart decisions. That's all you're focusing on. Just stacking the smart decision that you know is best for your trading account. Trade what you see, not what you think. We are system oriented, not how much money can I make on this. Think longevity, think efficiency, think long term. We aren't here just to make as much as we can this week. We're here to learn, and we're here to become better traders over the course of our lives. And I promise, if that's your focus, every week you will be getting better and better. Have a sense of urgency today with your daily musts. Get those things done as quickly but efficiently as possible. Eliminate excuses in any victim mindset. You are here because of your actions and your decisions, so take full accountability for that. Looking at the economic calendar to start off the week, this week is fairly light. You know, we do have some nice moving parts to the economic calendar in this week, but at the same time, it's not like an NFP week. It's not like a FOMC or anything like that. We do have a lot of red folder events, but not too crazy, right? So we'll start off with Monday, Empire State Manufacturing Index. To start off the day, you got Goolsby is going to be speaking in Minnesota Transportation Conference and Expo, and he's going to be expecting questions. So he'll be answering questions, and Kashkari is going to also be speaking as well. So pay attention to what they're going to be saying. We'll probably go over that tomorrow because we won't be on the live stream after that. After that event comes out, you have the CB leading index coming out for Great Britain. Monetary policy meeting minutes coming out for Australia. I don't think any of you guys trade any Australian pairs, but that would be important if you guys do. Got some data coming out of China. Retail sales will be pretty important when it comes to China. They're expecting a huge jump over here, so that'll be interesting. Also, unemployment rate's probably going to stay at 5.3%. Pretty good for an economy of that many people. But looking at Tuesday, claim and count change. This is where everything gets interesting. Claim and count change, average earnings index, unemployment coming out of Great Britain, zoo economic sentiment coming out of Europe, more specifically Japan, Germany. I don't know why I said Japan. CAD CPI coming out, retail sales coming out of the U.S. So this will be the big mover for the U.S. pretty much this week, other than the Fed, or not the Fed, but the U.S. government going back and forth with the White House when it comes to the debt ceiling and what they're going to end up doing. Lagarde is going to be speaking tomorrow, so that'll be important if you trade any Euro pairs. Barr is going to be speaking. A lot of FOMC members speaking this week, specifically, earlier in the week, and then towards the end of the week, we got Powell speaking. But looking at Wednesday, Bailey's going to be speaking. CPI coming out of Europe. You got employment data coming out of Australia, and annual budget release coming out of New Zealand. Have all this, a lot of the main focuses over here as well. But moving into Thursday, monetary policy report hearings is going to be going on with Great Britain. A couple bank holidays in Europe. Not sure what they actually are celebrating here. Observance of Ascension. Not sure what that is. If Quentin was here, he'd be able to help us with that. German bank holiday, same exact thing. So those banks will be closed in those countries. Unemployment claims coming out of the U.S. That's going to be important. And to follow Empire State Manufacturing Index, you got Philly Fed Manufacturing Index coming out a little bit better than previous over here is what they're expecting on Thursday. So we'll get some good volume around 8:30 on Thursday, and I'm sure Wednesday as well, as we typically do. Existing home sales coming out of the U.S. Macklem's going to be speaking at the Bank of Canada. And then again, retail sales coming out of Canada, and then Powell's going to be speaking at 11 a.m. on Friday over here, along with Lagarde and some other Fed members speaking. So very important week when it comes to Fed members speaking. G7 meetings starting on Friday as well. So we should have an eventful week. Should have some nice moving parts. Specifically, GJ right now is moving pretty well. I'm here, but doing delivers. What's up, Gary? Hope you're doing well, buddy. Gary's fucking killing it in the gym. But looking at key headlines, again, not much going on, but U.S. dollar pretty much had its best day since best week since last month or last September in 2022, and it rose against all G10 currencies, and its index rose by the most since last September. Like I said, seems to be coming after the optimism of the debates with the debt ceiling and people thinking that the U.S. won't default. And they're also due to speak on Tuesday. So along with all these things going on Tuesday, along with retail sales, that'll be very important as well. But they already have postponed these meetings. We know that negotiations do take a long time, especially something as important as this. So we'll see what ends up happening, but I highly doubt the U.S. defaults on any kind of debt. They're probably going to end up raising the ceiling, but there needs to be, this is a side note, when it comes to countries and having a successful nation and society, you need to cut government spending. If the government is spending so much money, they're going to keep printing money, and that's going to continue to cause inflation. So what needs to happen, and the reason why there's such a holdup right now, is that I would say right side of the government is more so trying to cut government spending. They do want to raise the debt ceiling, but at the same time, they need to cut the spending that is happening right now in the government. And money just getting printed and tossed around left and right, it's just not going to be good for a country, especially with everything else going on in this country right now. So that's pretty much what's going on, and that's what's kind of causing the mix up and gold to be gold had its rally, or not rally, but really bad correction over the last week over there. Right now we are kind of rallying a little bit more, so just kind of consolidating. But let's actually take a look at that right now. So starting with GJ right now, monthly doesn't look too different from what it looked like last week, right? But we are rallying, we are retracing from this monthly low that we've created right back down at 168. And as you guys know, 168 is a very psychological and important level on GJ over here, as we've rejected multiple times. And now you're already seeing that happen this month in the first half of May. Looking at the weekly now you're starting to see, again, we've been very bullish ever since the little banking crisis that we had back in March, the initial parts of it, First Citizens Bank, a lot of, the SVB, like there's been a lot of scares when it comes to the banking sector, and ever since then we've really been rallying over here, and we've created that high right back up at 172 over here. And right now we got that retracement, got that strong bullish candle close, no top wick, candle created a top wick, flip bearish, closed bearish, and created that low back down at 168, which we can actually kind of like mark off right here. Now, last week, we ended up getting that lower high and lower low, strong bearish candle close over here, right? So we were saying that it could very well end up closing. I remember it retracing up from 168, and we were trying to see how that weekly was going to end up closing, and was the daily going to end up closing above this level over here? We'll see it on the daily as well. But right now, we are holding a significant support and starting to rally over here, because you are seeing weakness in the Japanese yen to start off the week. All right, looking over here, this was Thursday, and then now this was Friday. This is how Friday ended up closing at 8 o'clock. This is going to end up opening up. You close below that support. Can we end up continuing to fill this gap over here and continuing down? And that's what you're seeing over here. Looking at the daily now, this is what I was talking about with that daily, was were we going to end up closing on this daily candle on Friday? Were we going to end up closing above that support? And we ended up doing so. So it kind of created like a fake out over here. The only thing is we had been creating these lower highs from, and actually lower lows from 172. So at any point, could we end up holding that lower high over here and continuing right back down, right? Because again, like I said, lower highs, possibly right there, lower lows, created a new low right there. So at any point that could end up happening, or we ended up faking this level out. At some point we end up getting a close above here. I don't know about today, but maybe tomorrow, and we end up retesting 172 again. Now we either reject that area and continue back down and create like a double top, or this continues right back up with further weakness in the Japanese yen. Looking at the 4 hour now. 4 hour, we're going to mark off this previous resistance right over here that it looks like price wants to come up and retest. We just got to see if it's got enough juice to do that. This move does look a little overextended, at least on the 4 hour. I'm not calling a pullback over here, but there is an area right here that price could be rejecting, right? And continuing right back down. Right, that could end up happening. But again, if it's got enough volume like it has right now, it could very well end up tapping into 171. All right, looking at the 1 hour now. Now we're going to mark this level off we were talking about before. Huge liquidity grab from that area. Great job, Sergio. I think a couple of you guys took this during London. But right now, this move does look a little overextended. Right, this candle has passed the high of that candle, but we're starting to flip bearish right now. Not trying to call tops, not going to sell from this area either. But what I am looking to do is see, are we going to form some kind of a higher low here so that we can continue up? You do have a fairly clean move here to the left. So now looking at the 30-minute, we just got our first 30-minute bearish candle out of this bullish move, right? So again, this could very well continue up, but this looks pretty overextended to me, right? This looks like it wants to pull back. It wants to give us some kind of a higher low at 170 to continue up, or maybe even 169, 800 over here, previous resistance on the 30-minute, where we can move this up if you'd like. We could be pulling back into that area to continue up. We could pull back into any parts of this area right here. Anywhere in here, I could see a support being formed and price continuing right back up from that area. All right. Again, fairly clean move still back up into some of these areas. I'm actually just going to move that right there. This looks like an area that we may want to be taking some kind of a profit here. Anywhere in that you could really draw this like this, right? It would make sense, but right over here, we're going to keep that right there. Okay. Looking at the 15-minute. Again, rejecting that area. We're still holding some kind of a higher low here in the 15-minute. Again, it's Monday. I'm not looking to just jump into here and be afraid that I'm going to miss this move up, right? I'm very content waiting for any kind of pullback to here to continue this up. All right, so that's what I'm looking at on GJ. Again, plenty of move that we could be continuing this up with, but I'd rather see that pullback and use this as that range, use this as the high so that we could continue that up and retest that area at some point. All right, but you guys had a great move during London. Could have taken this entire thing. How many of you guys got this? Who do we have here? I know Sergio got part of it. I think Lim got part of it. And Gary? Nope. We took a sell. Okay. I got to read through the London session. I'll do that after the session. But Lim, if you could talk, do you would you end up taking the sell here?
Let me edit it.
Oh,
I took it here, but I'm not sure where Gary took it. I think somewhere around there.
So you took it on the break of this low over here?
Yeah.
Okay. And what caused you to take that? What was your thought process? I see what
If
you're
you look at,
doing.
yeah, because if you look at the 1 hour, the previous 1 hour actually did close strong bearish, and
Right here.
It was a London Open as well. So yeah, we took a sell.
Okay. Yeah, I could see what you were doing 100%. Because again, but the only thing is, and like I said, I could see that previous support over here to the left. You see this bearish candle close. Just very much be aware of this area right here. Anywhere in here, once we start to close below that level, like and more specifically, I know that's hard to look at, but once you get below here, this is more of like what I would want to see, like some kind of a resistance hold right there, and then you could take that down, right? But at any point, price could be coming into this area and then continuing right back up, especially with this rally, right? To start off last night. Last night really opened up, kind of consolidating over here, right? And then all of a sudden we just opened up super bullish. And then into, late in the night, 1 a.m., we create that high over there that we end up rejecting, right? But, just be aware of trying to sell against something like this, a rally to start off a week like this. It's not like we're just kind of consolidating like we did on Friday. We're just kind of getting this, higher low formed, but at the same time, we're consolidating. This is a very strong move to start off a week, right? Especially with a little bit more optimism that the US won't default. And then, just be aware of trying to sell once you see that first bearish candle, right? It's the reason why we're not selling right now. Get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
So multiple things there for you. I was selling hit resistance, strong bearish engulfing. Next candle created a support. 8 a.m. pushed past it. Sold anticipating price to push lower. Okay. Again, I could see what you guys were doing and what you were thinking over here. I could also see this. Like you get this strong 30-minute candle close, weak bullish candle, right? And then this candle creates a very small top wick, passes the low of those candles, and you could see price continuing down, maybe coming down into this area over here. But just be aware of doing that. Like I think the best thing that you could have done, just looking back on it, was waited for this area to clear, right? Previous resistance, waited for that close below, and then that resistance to hold anywhere at 600, 169, 600, right around that area. He could have possibly taken this down, as you've seen, a move in the past over here. All right, guys, on a 30-minute. Does that make sense, Gary? All right. So that's GJ. Right now we're getting that pullback, and this price action is so nice that I could see. I'm not doing this. It's a Monday. I'm not going to force anything like this, but I could see sometimes getting this pullback depending on how big the range is. I got to be careful even saying this because I know there's going to be at least one person that's going to look at this and want to take it. But you got 34 pips there. We know that's enough on GJ to grab at least one. But this is what we think, right? We think that price is going to pull back. What we see is a very bullish trend, and the best thing to do would probably just be to wait for the higher low to form and then take this up later on, right? And if you don't get it, you don't get it. But at least you're trading with the trend, especially on a Monday. You don't want to be you want to set up everything is psychology. So you want to be able to set up your mindset. You want to be able to set up your psychology, your confidence, all that stuff with smart decisions on a Monday so that you create that momentum going into Tuesday as well. You don't want to be doing anything foolish on Monday. You really don't want to do anything foolish at all, but Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is where you could take some of these chances, low risk and let it ride. But let's look at gold now. Gold again sitting above 2,000 on the monthly. All right. So again, very bullish candles over here on the monthly. 3 straight bullish months in a row. Again, tapping in to this area over here. You get rejections at any point, right? And now we've seen multiple rejections with these wicks over here. So just got to be aware of that. But right now, looking at the weekly, more importantly, last week, We are creating these higher lows here, right? But how many times have we seen setups like this where you get the exhaustion, right? Traps a lot of people trying to take buys over here right away, and you get this exhaustion. We have a lot of rejection right in this area. There's a lot of rejection out of this zone right here. You got these two wicks right at that resistance. Wick ended up rejecting that area on the weekly last week and closing bearish. Could this candle be creating that top wick, flipping bearish and pulling right back? Let me actually move you guys. Can you guys see that when just a quick question. Can you guys see when I move the camera? You know, where all you guys on here, like when I'm moving this,
No, can see.
you can see me doing that?
No, I can't.
You can't. Okay. What if I do this? Can you guys
No, nothing happened.
nothing?
Yeah.
So you have no idea where I'm putting my camera.
No.
Okay. I was just curious. I always wondered that. Just trying to set up a few things here. I sold gold at London Open, but got stopped at break even. Okay. 2 trades already for Gary. How Gary, I know you're on your iPad and working. Did you manage DJ well? Also, Lim, yourself, were you guys able to manage the right way, or do you wish you did something differently?
I closed half, but I feel like I shouldn't have really hit the initial stop loss. I should have just closed it pretty much because it pulled back pretty fast.
Are you saying that you shouldn't have taken the trade? Is that what you said?
Now I'm saying I closed half, but then for the next half, I feel like I shouldn't have really hit my initial stop loss. It was
Okay.
too high to be honest.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, add that to the group channel. I got to go through the group channel from last week as well. I've had a hectic Friday and then weekend, so I'm gonna go through all that, all of your trades in there, and then we'll get into it. Let's see. Okay, so looking at the daily now. Again, last 3 days, last week over here on gold, we've had some pretty bearish gold days over here. So right over here was that resistance that we just keep rejecting over here. We created that high, we pulled back, held this support over here for quite some time. We were able to grab multiple sells in this range over here, right? And then I believe we were able to capitalize on some of these buys over here. I believe we did. But again, we ended up tapping into that resistance, rejecting it pretty hard. We pull all the way back to 2000, as you guys know, very psychological level. We go right back up to retest that resistance over there, or 2050. And then ever since then, we've been creating those lower highs and lower lows on the weeklies or on the dailies. So this was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and now Monday of this week. We have not passed the high of that candle, but we are bullish. But right now, we're kind of holding this area as a potential resistance right now, from what I see on the daily. So we'll see it on the lower time frames here. Should have closed half after the push down, and once it came back to my entry. Okay, but you didn't, and you did well managing gold, right? Let's see. Now you could really put your resistance right over there. I do want to mark that area off. I mean, you could really, put that up there as well. I don't like it. I'd rather just like, all right, that's our resistance. Once we break above that area, we could take buys. So like typically there's no point of really drawing this, because this looks like a messy range to be taking a buy into anyway. Maybe safer buys are going to be above 2056, but that's not important to us right now. It's more so this range that we're sitting in right over here. And this area, 2020 to 2017, I would say, has been pretty significant here on gold. Previous resistance multiple times over here, we were able to break through, held it as support with that wick rejection, flip bullish, and then we continue right back up to 2045 since then. And then after that, we've been creating these lower highs. So we ended up getting a little fake out of this previous support over here, right? And now price ended up tapping into that previous resistance that we've been holding over here, and now we are currently bearish, right? We are currently holding that resistance 2018, right? And possibly consolidating for the rest of the day. Looking at the 1 hour now we could just readjust. Very simple. So that's your resistance, not taking anything in here. This does not look good to me at all. Nothing appealing. As you can see, we are rejecting. Every time we reject this area, you get these lower highs, lower lows, and then eventually not so much lower lows, but you hold that support and we get this bounce right back into this area. And what do you know? We got 3 consecutive bearish candles over here on the 1 hour, right? But right now we're starting to reject this area right here. So if we look at the 30 minute ended up bouncing into here and closing bullish. This is what happens when you trade within a range. It's very difficult to place stop losses and understand where a safe entry would be if you're going to trade within here. There are times to take bounces off a resistance or a support, but right now within this area, you're going to have plenty of opportunities, as you guys see with GJ this morning, where gold, and we practice this all the time in the simulator, where we'll have a simulation session and we're not going to take anything. It's just not a trading day. And we would always say, what would we say? We'd say, all right, typically if we were trading gold and simming this right now, but this was the live market, we'd probably be moving over to GJ or US 30 and concentrating on those pairs. We'd be staying out of a pair like this. Right. So gold is a perfect example of that right now. I think safe sells will be below 2009. So you got safer sells below here. Fairly clean move coming down into 2000. 2000 would definitely be my target. Something in my throat. So 2000. Oh, did not mean to do that. Green. Everything in here would be garbage. A lot of hot garbage. And then right over here, you got a fairly clean move once we break 2022. The year of the rate hikes. Okay, so we're gonna move this here. Do this. Mark off safe buys. 2022. Nice and simple. How's everyone's Mother's Day? What everyone do?
Hey, bro, we just chill at the house, had
Nice.
some friends, picked up some food and some balloons.
There you go.
It was going out to restaurants yesterday was kind of hectic, so
I bet.
just rather do it at the house. What about you?
Yeah, you need a reservation on Mother's Day, don't you?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, we actually it's so crazy how like when you're married, you have so many, like every holiday before you have kids, and even probably when you do end up having kids, is you're all over the place, especially as a young couple. So like we got to split time between my family and her family, which is no big deal, but we actually drove down back home yesterday early in the morning. Oh, I got a crazy story for you guys too. Early in the morning we ended up driving back home, and what's it called? Went to my grandparents and celebrated with my mom and grandma and the rest of my family, and then drove out to Freehold and actually was able to pick up my golf clubs and from my parents' house and bring them up here. But and then we went to her place or her mom's place in Freehold and hung out, played cornhole, and I barbecued kebabs, like steak kebabs with chicken, with sweet onions, peppers, and then I on a pan, a cast iron pan on the grill. I did like all these other vegetables. I made tzatziki. It was a good time, really good time. But not last night, but the night before, 2 in the morning, we hear like our garbage can gets knocked over, and we're like, "What the hell?" Like that woke us up, and we look out of the window, and there's a bear going through our garbage, and I thought it was like a cub. Like I'm like, because you couldn't really see it, like our stairs kind of was in the way, and also the garbage can, it was behind the garbage can, so I can only see like its ass. So I'm like, oh, it's just like a cub, whatever. And we turn the lights on, and then all of a sudden it's still going through the garbage. We turn the light back on, and the light kind of scares it, and it walks away. This thing was huge. Like as it was walking away, I've never seen a bear in person before, but like that big. Like you only see them on like National Geographic and stuff like that, and you always hear about bears around here, and I'm like, oh, they're probably like small bears, whatever. This thing was ginormous, and you know, my dog's crazy. Typically, he's going nuts with the deer, but he didn't budge. He had no idea what was going on. But I had to pick up all the garbage early in the morning, and we had to drive back home, and that was interesting.
So what would you have done if the bear would have charged at you?
Oh, we were inside. I didn't go outside, but you know, it's almost like when you have an argument with someone, and then you realize like what you wanted to say after the argument. It's like same thing with that. Like it's the first bear encounter. All I did was like I just let it do what it was doing. But now what I know I'm gonna do is I might end up drilling my garbage can shut, like putting like a kind of like a lock on it so that a bear couldn't get into it even if he knocked it over.
How did he get in? How did the bear get inside your house?
He wasn't in my house. The garbage was outside.
Oh, it was outside. Gotcha.
Yeah. If that was inside, we'd be fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean I have a gun, but you know that would have been wild if I had a bear in our house.
Yeah.
Luckily we didn't have that. But you know, going back, you know, what I probably would have done is take some pots and pans. I would have went outside and on the stairs and scared it away or done something. But it makes us think twice about walking around here. We do see these we do these nice hikes that, I mean, we live on a mountain, so like the hikes going back up the mountain are pretty intense, and they're like perfect to work out with. But moving forward with the dog and everything, now that the bears are out, spring season, you know, it makes you think twice about it. I always carry around a pocket knife, an air horn, and bear spray. And now I'm definitely gonna be doing that.
Yeah.
All right. Back to trading. So looking at US 30 now, monthly really doesn't look much different, right? Like US 30 has been really ranging in this area on the higher time frame. So current monthly candle is bearish. Been a lot of fear in the market with banking sectors. The banking sector, you have the US possibly defaulting. I don't think it's going to happen, but you know, a lot is waiting on that. You've also had the rate hikes, but possibly that being the last rate hike. I don't know if they're going to end up hiking rates in June. I think they will personally, but we'll see. Like we don't know yet. But the last 2 weeks over here have been bearish on the stock market, right? Strong bearish candle close right at that area with a wick to fill. Next candle didn't fill that wick yet, but we did get a strong body close on the weekly here. So now the question is, are we going to be holding a support right in this area, 33,250, right? And bouncing off this area? But the question is, where are we going to end up going, right? Are we going to hold support there and continue up? Are we going to hold support there, pull back to 750, hold that resistance, and then continue down? Or are we just creating that top wick right now, and this candle is going to end up flipping bearish and continuing down with that clean move to the left? So looking at the daily now, daily, again, some hot garbage. It's looking like we're really ranging over here on the higher time frames, and it makes it difficult to see if this is something that we would want to be taking the bounce off the support over here, or do I just want to wait for price to hold or come back up to this resistance over here and continue down? Now, also it is the daily, so maybe there is something in the lower time frames, but I don't want to say never. But so far right now, everything is very difficult to be trading within this area over here. This is the much easier range to be trading in, and you could very well end up holding that continuing down. I'm sure, because US 30, every time it makes an impulsive move, it likes to make these huge pullbacks. Right, price ends up liking to pull back pretty hard after that impulsive move. So if we did end up breaking below this support, right, you could definitely expect a pullback over here. I've only been able to hold a US 30 runner 400 points. I've been able to hold it 760, but I didn't secure at 760, so I didn't actually grab 760. But after that, price typically pulls back. The most it'll really run might be on a scalp, at least, will probably be anywhere between 700 to 900 points, and then it'll probably pull back heavily and stop you at a break even. So that's just some of the things I've been noticing on US 30. But right now, again, on Friday, we ended up closing like a weak bearish candle over here, right? We ended up bouncing off that area, and now we're starting off the week pretty bullish right now. So looking at the 4 hour ended up giving us or holding a strong support. Every time we bounce into this area, you get that hard push up, right? And now we're starting to come right back into that same resistance over here. So the question is, are we going to end up rejecting this area? Right? Are we going to hold that as a resistance? This, I would actually just move this right here. One thing that, I'm optimistic about is the fact that, there is optimism behind the US defaulting and Congress and the White House coming to an agreement and stuff like that. That could really be pushing this up. Also, the fact that people think that the Fed won't be increasing rates in June, that could also be pushing this up as well. But the fact that we respected the support perfectly right here, right? And we are pushing into this resistance tells me there's a chance that price will push through that resistance and continue up. But again, once you break through that area, it is a little messy. So looking at the 1 hour here. Excuse me. Looking at the 1 hour over here, we're holding support. We did end up rejecting that resistance right over here. So we got to see, like, is this worth taking a buy into? I don't think so, right? Like we're really holding this resistance right here and rejecting multiple times. So I would say safe buys are going to be above 33,470. Actually put that right there for you. I know we got a good amount of people here today. Anybody looking at US 30? I know Lewis has been looking at it, not trading it, but anybody looking at possibly taking it or starting to execute on it and add it to their trading plan, or more importantly, is anybody looking to start backtesting it? Right. So we got that area right there as safe buys up into 33,580. Fairly clean move to the left over there. And then once we start breaking below over here, because again, we have typically rejected this area pretty hard. Right over here, we are able to capitalize on that. Right over here, and now we're starting to tap into that area again. We've already rejected right there with that candle. Can we end up continuing right back down? But I don't think you have safe sells until you really break 33,380. All right. Nice and easy. I could see you maybe taking something down into here. Support over here. and very clean move. Now, this would be another TP for me, right? This would definitely be a TP for me, but you do have a clean move coming all the way down into this area. And, you know, again, definitely take profit at 300 down here. So that's US 30 right now. Let's go back up to the higher time frames again. Daily. Yeah, see, the daily could be pulling back at any point and continuing down. As you guys know, with this previous weekly candle or previous daily candle on Friday, we did push into that area and ended up flipping bearish. So at any point that could end up happening. Also, if you look over here to the left too, that's why we go up to the higher time frames again multiple times. Previous resistance, previous support over here, multiple rejections in that area as well. So that could very well end up happening if we get some fear in the market, but we don't know yet. Let's go over to GJ again. Just pushing, huh? Look at that. Give me 1 second. All right. So we're holding this higher low over here and we're just continuing up. So I'm okay missing this, being that, you know, I wasn't awake for London. So I'm not gonna, this is where I would have wanted to enter this from. So at some point, GJ is gonna give you a pullback over here to continue right back down. I'm not looking to, you know, capitalize on this at the high of the move over here. If you look at the 1 hour, we're still at the high up here. It's moving. It's a beautiful move to the left, but again, I'm not interested in trying to buy up here. That's anytime I've done that, it's not been a good idea. Not been worth it either. Even if you win the trade. So gold over here is, we got that close below that support over here, right? Clean close with a wick to fill. Can this continue down into this area? And the more it does, the better it is for us, because we can now capitalize on something like this. Just keep in mind, it's Monday. You don't want to be forcing anything. Be nice and patient. That's it. All right. So give me 1 second. I'm just going to use the bathroom. And I'll be right back. Get both of our pairs going here.
Steph, GG pushing up because yields pushing up as well.
Sorry, I was just walking away. Yields. It's actually
Yes,
good.
Michelle, notice we do see markets expecting.
Thank you very much, Serge. Let me go to teletrader.
because Bostic, one of the Fed voters, he just said, we're not gonna cut rates this year.
Bostic?
Yes.
He's speaking at, where is this?
Yeah, he just spoke. That's why gold is pushing up a bit, down a bit, and yields pushing up. And GJ usually like inverted to yields.
Where's Bostic speaking? I don't see that on the calendar.
It's not on the calendar, I think, because
Let's go to the financial juice.
he was speaking at 12, 12 my time.
Maybe because last week they gave us like an update that what was it? Lagarde was speaking, like, surprisingly, like it wasn't she wasn't scheduled to speak.
He was speaking on CNBC interview.
Yeah, but I don't know. It wasn't her. Somebody wasn't expected to speak, and they did, and they added it to the calendar at like the last second. Let's see. Oh, there we go. There is some risk of recession. So that should be, I mean, that would be pushing GJ down. Free cuts are not part of my baseline. Appropriate policy is to wait and see the effects of tightening. Okay. That sounds a little dovish to me. And then he says we may have to go up on rates. Okay. All right, let me use the bathroom. I'll be right back. Yo. All right. Yeah, I'm looking to take gold below 2009 over here. Nice sell. If we can hold that resistance right there, that'll be my trade. Maybe I should go back to this. Our time frames. And again, one thing that I've been doing is whether I take a trade or not on the pair, this goes for journaling, is I'm gonna journal the trade no matter what. So I'm gonna journal the pair no matter what. So one good thing for you guys to do is just come to Trello in the morning, set up your cards, and then just start taking pictures of the higher time frames. And that way you can go back and see your pairs on a certain day, even if you didn't take a trade. you can still go back and see why you didn't take a trade and why it was smart not to take a trade. It's another good thing to train your eyes with. Daily. Reason. I need a sweatshirt. Curly, how's it going over in London? Is it still raining?
Did you ask me? Sorry, Steph.
Yeah, I was just.
I'm not in London, but
That's right. You traveled down to London a lot, right?
yeah.
Well,
Yeah, the weather's pretty shit. It's quite cold today here.
you're in England, so it's raining
We have had a lot of rain lately.
lately. Gary always defending it. There's always like, it's nice. I'm just playing. For the 1 week of the year, yeah. All right, so this is a 30-minute. Again, did everyone did it make sense what I was talking about with that 30-minute entry during London? You guys could have gotten from down here. Again, it's based off this engulfing candle with a wick to fill. And now if you aren't comfortable taking it down here, you could take it after that candle closed, bottom wick form, past the high of the previous candle, stop loss right back in there, clean move to the left, London volume, take that thing up. You could at least get the 1-to-1 over here, which you would have definitely gotten. How'd you guys finish last week? Lewis, how'd you finish last week? You've been super patient.
Pretty good, man. Pretty good.
Shit, man.
I only took a few trades, but they were pretty good. So
How many trades you take compared to how many you feel like you missed?
how many did I take versus how many did I miss?
Yeah, like trades according to your plan. Like how many do you feel like you could have taken last week?
Not that much according to my plan. I
That's
mean, there was a lot of moves that happened. Like there was like the 100 pip move from gold that went up and down like crazy, but that wasn't part of my move. So yeah,
There's no true entry for you.
Yeah.
Beautiful. That's all that matters.
yeah.
Literally all that matters. Let's just take one of the 4-hour. I did not. Is I talked to him yesterday, but I didn't ask where he was. Has Quentin reached out to anyone about meeting up? I don't know if he's in London yet. I think he went yesterday. Anyone know?
I think he lands this evening.
Okay. What's up, Gary?
Hey, man.
How are you?
Yeah, not bad.
Good shit. You gonna be able to meet up with him, or is too
Nah,
busy
because
with work?
he wanted to do dinner tonight.
You gonna be able to do it,
He's-
or you just
Nah, not during the week.
okay? Yeah, no, I
So-
totally get that. That's the thing, like with like family, friends, people, and especially living up here, people want to come during the week, and they're like, I got the week off or something like that. Let's plan something. We'll come up. It's like I would love that, but during the week is like work hours. Like even though like we work from home and we're able to run our own business and stuff like that from home, it doesn't mean we're gonna be able to entertain you and work all the time. So or play all the time. So things like that during the week, I totally understand, Gary. Let's see. Sure, Joe, how you doing, buddy?
I just went to go get some water. Sorry about that.
I was just seeing how you were doing.
Yeah, I'm doing good.
Hectic
Okay.
weekend, huh?
Yeah, I was just working with my uncle in his house.
Oh, nice. What are we doing?
He's extending his back garden, so we had to like smash a whole wall down.
Ah, demo.
Yeah.
I remember helping my dad with all that. It's actually kind of fun. That's what Gary does or did, right?
I did. Don't know.
Did you like demo work more, or did you like the actual construction?
Don't mind. Feel the same.
It's all the same for you?
Yeah, do a bit of both.
Okay. All right, here we go. US 30 starting to reject. Trapping some buyers, I'd imagine, over here. Someone's taking someone's money. Not ours. Wait a minute. I'd like to see a strong bearish candle. I would live back test. Like, let's say the candle closes somewhat like this, but with like a longer bottom wick. I would live back test this thing dropping from here, but safer sells will most definitely be below 33,380. All right, let's see. So let's go back over to financial juice over here. See what we got going on. Hey, Lewis, you there?
Yeah, what's up, man?
You still playing around with crypto?
Yeah.
They're saying crypto market is set for a recovery. Let's see. Yeah, crypto markets have taken a beating over the last few weeks, resulting in a sea of red. Coins. Every rally is continued and Bitcoin price respecting key levels. I feel like Bitcoin and what like XRP are probably like the main ones. Ethereum,
Right.
like the only ones I would actually like invest in. I made a few on some of the Doge and stuff like that, but stuff I would actually hold on to.
No, I wouldn't hold into Doge.
No, I'm saying it's definitely not something I would hold on to. I'm saying
Oh yeah, yeah.
with Bitcoin, it's probably the only thing I would be holding. It's bouncing off of support over here. Every 4 years it gets that rally, doesn't it?
Yeah, more or less. For that happening thing. Are you planning on buying any if it goes back down, or you don't really touch?
I mean, I like the support that it's holding right now. It's still creating these lower highs. Obviously, safer buys are gonna be above 31,600, but your long-term strategy, I feel, is a little bit different than what we do with scalping. At least for me. Even though we're holding this support, like after a liquidity grab like this, bottom wick forms past the high in that weekly over there, you can buy at that point. And right now we're holding another higher low here. And if we could get like a strong weekly candle or a strong bullish candle closing over here above this whole area, like if we could close somewhere up in here, I could see this thing continuing up. You know who Michael Saylor is, Lewis?
Yeah, he's the CEO. He was the CEO of MicroStrategy.
Yeah, he was just on the PBD podcast again, talking about all this. I only saw clips of it. I would like to see the whole thing, but he's an interesting guy.
Yeah, he's definitely a Bitcoin maxi.
He's at what?
He's a Bitcoin maxi.
Very true.
His stock is actually his company, MicroStrategy. It's a very good company though.
Yeah, this guy's he's an interesting guy.
You ever play with options?
What was that?
Have you ever played with options before?
Options now. What is Sheila?
Yeah, that's a whole different monster.
1.1 billion. Yeah, there's a lot different here. Holy shit. It
He
looks so
doesn't look like
different.
that anymore. Yeah, he's all white hair now.
Yeah, right. Wonder when that was taken. He's a billionaire. Let's see. Slams the Fed for trying to destroy.
Want to be a successful trader?
The crypto market. I like this podcast. They're good. He's awesome.
What Buffett's annual fee share?
I don't think I've ever seen that podcast before.
What was that?
I don't think I've ever seen that podcast before.
Do you know who this is?
No, who's that?
This is Patrick Bet-David. He's from Iran. He was a refugee in Germany for 2 years as a kid, and then his parents came over here. But his dad is a capitalist. His mom is a communist, and they got divorced. I think multiple times, like remarried, got divorced again. But he came over here and started an insurance company. He actually lives down in Florida, in Fort Lauderdale, and just really built himself up to be a pretty well-known person. But I like him a lot.
Huh.
I brought him up on here a couple times. Let me show this for you guys. Thank you. It's in the crypto.
You just say it's a good podcast.
You like them?
But is it worth listening to? Are there any good trading podcasts out there? Can you recommend any?
Trading pocket, yeah. Trading Nut. Trading Nut's really good.
Oh yeah, I know that one. Yeah, that's the one I started with really.
Let me
Yeah.
look at my podcast because I used to listen to podcasts all the time on the road, and I don't anymore. Here we go.
I think the Empire State Manufacturing Index came back.
Good call. Let's see Ethereum. Wow, look at this. Here's the pullback. Thank you, Lewis.
Mhm.
Words of wisdom. Wow, negative 31.8. Yeah, I'd imagine so, Gary. Yep. So again, gold's very consolidating. I'm not interested in taking any buys right now until we do break 2022. But GJ is definitely going to be pulling back here, and US 30 here too. US 30 should be giving us a solid close below that support after a surprise like that. Now we get the clean move to the left. The thing is, I would probably wait for 9 a.m. to be taking US 30 here. Not definitely, but knowing this setup here, I'd like to see the 1 hour candle close below that support. Right, next one create a top wick, break the low, and continue right back down. So let's take screenshots over here of what we're looking for. An hour post index. 30-minute. And typically, as we know, 9 o'clock, 9:30 is really where this pair ends up moving anyway. And GJ, I'm not looking to sell again. I'm just looking for a higher low to be formed. And if that's the case, we get a solid 30-minute candle closing. Then we could take that up or wait for the correction. Maybe sells below 500 down here. Serge, how was your weekend, buddy?
I was working this weekend.
Nice.
There was one guy asking to have a weekend off, so I have to go to work.
Oh, you covered for him?
Yeah,
Okay.
it wasn't much rest for me.
Let's see.
At least I managed, to do some back testing at work.
There you go. At work?
Yeah.
Good stuff.
And weekend is more quiet, so you have more time for yourself.
I mean, that's where you really gotta capitalize is using those weekends.
Yeah.
I'm looking at podcasts over here. Thoughts on the market? Morgan Stanley is a good one. There's a lot of good um, fundamental podcasts. But I do really like Trading Nut.
And Goolsby, just noting we're trying to figure out
Wall Street
where we are
Unplugged is
in
good.
cycle. When is
Yeah, Trading Nut. Got so many podcasts on here.
How was your talk over a beer?
What's up, Gary?
How was your talk over a beer?
Oh, how was it?
Yeah.
That's on Thursday.
How is it?
It's on Thursday.
Oh, I thought it was last night because I saw it this morning.
Nah, yeah, he was just promoting it for this week.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, it'll be on Thursday, 6 p.m.
I'll try listening.
Yeah, hell yeah. I'll send the link. I haven't talked to Sasha in I don't know, about a year now. It feels like. So he invited me on there, and it'll be nice to do it again. I did it a couple of years ago. It was a good time.
Yeah, I'll try listening.
Gotta pick up some beer. I don't typically like to drink during the week, but that's all right. So the 5 minute, we ended up getting the 5 minute over here, closing below that support. But I'm not trading on the 5 minute on US 30. I'm looking for 9 o'clock to give us a possible pullback, right? And then we can continue this thing down. Gary, it's good to have you on here. I know you're working pretty much the whole time, but you're able to talk, so it's nice to be able to talk to you every day now. Other than just Discord.
Yeah, I'm in and out of the van, but I'm listening along.
Oh yeah. Also, wanted to bring your attention. Anybody that needs a Zoom, let's schedule something. Where you guys want to hop on. We'll do like a 30-minute Zoom and go over where you guys are at right now with your trading, where you're at right now with your momentum, where we need to get you guys to. Go over some goals, maybe some new goals, maybe some ones that aren't as important to you right now. But I want to stay updated on where you guys are at, mindset wise and momentum wise, purpose wise, all that stuff. But specifically, trading. We got to get you guys all really firing on all cylinders, trading, patient. All have your systems updated as far as your trading plans and where your trading plans are at. Maybe you've added a session or two. Maybe you've been able to get through 100 backtesting sessions on that one pair that you're trading. Maybe you've moved on to the second one. You have some questions on it, but when we do so, make sure that you guys have journal trades that we could go through, at least 5, that we can run through everything that you guys were thinking on that trade, psychology wise, each screenshot. I was able to show you guys everything that I had on that gold trade that I took last week, 45 to 50 screenshots. And I know that may sound excessive, but it's going to be helpful for me when I go back, or it's going to be certainly helpful for you guys when you guys go back and look through my journal. So reach out to me on Discord and we'll schedule something. Oh, no, this is GJ. Minute 8:41 a.m. Big pullback. So we can pull back anywhere into this area right here and hold the support. Right, it could even pull back into this support over here and then continue back up. But if we can hold the support and you get a strong 30-minute candle close over here, I could see this continuing up. But keep in mind what the fundamentals have just told us. Economic data just came out much worse than expected here in Empire State Manufacturing Index. So you're going to get some short-term strength in the Japanese yen over here. As you can see, we just opened up a little bullish. Previous candle did close bearish last week. Right? and just no bottom wick. And right now you're starting to see this thing pull back as there's a little bit of fear in the market based on the US economy. So this thing could very well end up continuing. Let's actually go back. If you look at the daily, from what we talked about before, we said that at any point on the daily here, we could end up forming a lower high here to then continue right back down. Right? We've been creating those lower highs. As you can see, look at this. Current 4-hour candle is going to be closing in the next 17 minutes. So the previous candle closed a strong bullish candle, barely a top wick, filled most of this range, and then we tapped right into this area. And we said this morning, I wouldn't be surprised if we get some kind of a lower high in here and then continue back down. But being that we kind of faked this area out over here on the daily, told me that, there was a possibility, at least we know, it's not our main bias, but there was a possibility that price could be faking this area out and then continuing right back up. I think if it does do that, at some point, we're going to get a pullback and then it continues back up. So now's a good time to take a screenshot of that 4-hour. So you have it. Yeah, liquidity grab on gold on the 4-hour. All right. Right, strong candle close here on the 15-minute on US 30. Typically, when we get closes like this with barely a bottom wick like that, and when we're like right in the middle of that range right there, this is where I would love to see that pullback over here to continue right back down. We look at the 4-hour here. See where the 4-hour's at on US 30. Okay, I think I have what do I have today? Zoom minus. We've got multiple Zooms today. A lot of Zooms today. So this 4-hour, the only thing is with US 30, the 4-hour candle does close a lot, about an hour later than our typical closes at 9 a.m. US 30, 4-hour, 8:46. Yeah. So as you're seeing, we're coming into that lower high over here, possibly forming this lower high to continue down. But what I would like to see is, again, a 1 hour candle strong close. I'd like to see a pullback. And that's typically where it ends up happening. You don't want to get caught in the pullback on US 30 here before the stock exchange open. Not the best idea. All right, so let's go through a few different scenarios like we've been going through before we hop off here. Because I don't know if I'll be taking the trade today other than US 30, but gold GJ over here. Like I said, if we end up closing bearish over here, again, getting that lower high back in this area, another lower high, this thing ends up closing bearish, I could see the next candle creating a top wick, flipping bearish, and it's way too big, and continuing right back down over here to continue down. And this end up being a whole fake out right there to continue back down to 168 potentially. I don't know if that's going to happen, but it could. But I do think the best way to do this is to wait for that close below 169, 500, 600 down here. When you're clearing out of that area, that'll probably be the smartest trade to take. Right? Clearing out of that area that we talked about with Lim and Gary this morning. Waiting for this area to hold a resistance and then continue down, because that is a strong area that price could end up holding a support in again and continuing back up. And again, this could just be a short-term pullback before continuing up, because as you guys know, on the yen here, the yen could just be creating that top wick over here, filling that gap because we opened up over there, and then flipping bearish to continue back down. Right, and if that's the case, this is holding support to continue back up and retesting that high. So that's your scenario for GJ. You got both biases. Your main bias, support formed, price continues up and at least retest this high, or maybe even candle bodies right there, might be even better. But right over here, you also have these sells that you could take price down into. But I wouldn't be trying to sell in this area. You don't want to get trapped. Looking at gold, very self-explanatory. Wait for buys above 2022 over here. You could take this thing up, clean move to the left over here, clean candle. You could definitely get maybe like half of that, or at least 25 to 30 pips on gold over here. But you might be able to get even more. And then safe sells will be below 2009. US 30. If I'm going to take a trade today, will probably be the only trade that I do take, and it's just waiting for the hour to close, waiting for the stock exchange to open, and I might be able to execute this continuing down. I do have a couple of Zooms I had to schedule for this morning, so I may not be able to even trade this, but it was just the only time these members could do it, so that's why I'm doing it. But does anyone have any questions?
No, bro, all good.
All good?
All good, thanks, Steph.
Awesome. Well, I just want to commend you guys on showing up today early, on time. A lot of participation today, which, you know, we can always improve on. So continue to do so. Continue to, you know, send your charts and trades and all that stuff. And I want to have a killer week this week. Stack on last week. Last week was a great week as well. But let's have a great week this week, whether it's your fitness, your trading, psychology, all that stuff. Let's continue to be great and strive for greatness, and we will get to that point. All right, guys.
All right, man.
Awesome.
Thanks
Have
a
a
lot, Steph.
great day. All right.
See you
Take care, buddy.
tomorrow.
Bye, guys.